welcome to Reaction Shots for June, Pride Month, 2020 Fizzle. If Fizzle means four. You'll see, for viewers, you'll see the image behind us is still featuring AJ Locascio, because that was what was on this tablet.
We're so nice, we played it twice.
So nice, yes. Yeah, and I know he'd hate it that we used it again, because he hated it that we used it the first time.
Good.
We're sort of flying by the seat of our pants this month, because I realized that either we shot it we were in here already for the podcast, because Hubie's going to Vegas for the World Series of Poker.
Yeah.
So either this episode would be late, or we would kind of shoot from the hip and shoot it right now.
Or shoot from Vegas, live from Vegas.
That'd be sick.
We did a mandatory update in Vegas one time. That was pretty fun. Anyway, obviously we are joined here by Huber, the royal we, as in me. Ooh. I'm Isla Hink. I'm joined by Matthew Walden and Michael Huber.
Hello.
I almost called you Matthew Huber, and my brain was like, what's happening?
That's the ultimate form.
The ultimate
We're about to reveal the ultimate form.
Yes.
This month we are talking about masterpiece flops, disaster pieces, as Tokyo Slim called them.
Blade Runner
2049, baby. Furiosa. Although maybe not a masterpiece. We're talking about movies that were critically well received that did not do well in the box office. So good movies, bad performance. That's our theme for this month. Before we get into that, we're going to talk about briefly what we've seen lately. Matthew, I feel like you don't usually go first on these. Do you want to tell us what you've seen lately?
Yeah. I've been watching We Are Lady Parts. Do you know this show?
I've heard that's really good, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It is Muslim women who have a feminist punk band in the UK. And it is written and directed by the creator of that movie Polite Society, that martial arts movie. And she's great. This is such a fun show. It's funny and it's charming and the characters are so relatable. And I spent my high school years just obsessed with punk music and being in punk bands. And these women are a little bit older. They're like in their 20s, or early 20s to mid 20s. But still, it's so relatable and so fun. And you're just cheering for them to be rebellious in a situation that's difficult for them to be rebellious. And they have internal conflicts about their culture and how far they can push the envelope. And it's great. It's a joyous show. I've enjoyed it so much. I'm just starting the second season now, but can't recommend it highly enough. Very cool that we're getting more shows like this. I mean, there is no other show like this, but
right.
Yeah, enough shows about mean white guys, who are horrible, doing horrible things. I've loved them. I've loved my share of them. They were like my favorite shows over the past couple of decades, but like it's cool to get something different finally. No more anti-heroes, selling drugs. I love those shows, but yeah, it's just nice to have variety. So I'm also watching The Great. Do you know this show? Yeah, I missed it. I didn't watch it over the past couple years. It's about Peter the Great and Catherine the Great in Russia. It's about the person who wrote The Favorite, and I remember one or both of you hated The Favorite. I can't remember.
I loved The Favorite.
You loved The Favorite. Okay,
I liked The Favorite.
Oh,
he likes The Favorite too.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a guest who hated The Favorite.
Yeah,
okay,
must have
Favorite's
been.
cool. Favorite's
Some
cool.
crazy person in the past who didn't like The Favorite.
Yeah, it must have been somebody else. Okay, great.
Favorite's cool.
Oh, was it The Lobster? Maybe it was The Lobster.
hate
That was it. That was
The
it. That was The
Lobster.
Lobster.
With a capital H.
I thought The Lobster was okay, but lost a little steam in the forest.
Yeah, there we go. Well, The Great is written by the person who wrote The Favorite, and
But not The Lobster.
Yeah, not the lobster. Okay. I don't think. Yeah,
I don't think so.
Killing of a sacred deer.
It's really really funny. It's just about Catherine the Great really having a real jerk of a husband, but he's also very funny even though he's a jerk. He's a jerk in a funny way, and they're trying to bring the Enlightenment values to Russia, and she's trying to introduce sort of democratic in her way, feminist values to Russia, and just having a real hard go of it. But it's hilarious so far. I'm enjoying that a lot. And I saw Furiosa.
Same.
Saw,
I saw it.
saw Furiosa with the vibrating chairs.
Oh my god.
See it with the
Mania.
vibrating chairs. Strap yourself in with the vibrating chairs. Turn them to the maximum setting. Give yourself that experience at the very least. Overall, I liked the movie. It wasn't like a resounding,
Yeah.
enthusiastic, loved it. There were parts of the movie where I was like, I am not so sure about this. I'm not so sure about this.
Matthew, I loved it, but I feel like it is the case study of a prequel having no stakes.
Yeah. I don't
fell
love
into like the
prequels,
ultimate
yeah.
prequel. Like I'm like usually okay with prequels, but this was like the quintessential prequel where it just sucked all the stakes out of everything. I still really liked the movie, but I feel like it was hurt by being a prequel.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting because I remember as we were leaving the theater, I felt kind of disappointed by it. Similarly, I liked it, but I didn't love it. And Fury Road is one of my favorite movies ever.
One of the best movies.
And
ever.
and obviously this wasn't trying to be Fury Road. It's not trying to be a wall-to-wall action movie. It has chapter headings, for God's sake. It's being more of an epic,
Yeah.
But I think I left the theater saying I want to re-edit this and I'm going to cut 35 minutes out of it.
Damn.
And I don't know, as time has gone by, I've been thinking about that and was that an in the moment I wanted it to be more exciting kind of a thing?
I would
or
add an hour.
Really?
Yeah. I would lean into the
dragged for me.
epicness.
It dragged.
I would lean in. I would try to not be.
I think if it were more
Mad
tonally
Max.
consistent, that would work. But it felt like the movie was cutting out stuff. It felt weird, there were budget constraints or something where it was hey, we're just going to tell you about the 40-day war or whatever it was called. Instead of showing you anything from it. And it's on the one hand, okay, I guess it's her story. It's not about this. But on the other hand, it's why do it if you're not going to do it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird movie.
Yeah. I liked the pacing. There are definitely parts that I would prefer not to see. There were parts I didn't like about it and that I would cut out. But I like the pacing and editing, controversially. Fury Road I loved, but I have a hard time, and I'm just maybe very old fashioned with movies that are too frenetically edited the entire way through. I need to catch a breath sometimes, or I get overstimulated. I don't know what it is about my eyes and my brain, but Fury Road was a huge accomplishment. But by the end, I was just my eyes are just Clockwork Orange by the end of it, and it's amazing. But I did sort of enjoy the editing style of this film. That was a good quality of it. Other things story wise, some of the beats I wasn't so into. And some of the criticisms you just mentioned, I'd agree with. But yeah, get the vibrating chairs, sit in there while the trucks go down the road and feel it in your legs. Yeah.
I want to do it.
Speaking of trucks and going down the road and stuff, I saw Gasoline Rainbow. Have you heard of this movie?
No.
Gasoline Rainbow is an indie movie shot by or directed by two brothers who are DPs formerly. And it is about a road trip with teens who are just done with high school. And it is like the movie Kids if it were only heart.
yeah.
If it were only heart
What a
and
sell.
What a bizarre
yeah,
sell.
yeah, like, and no like depressing things. So like it felt very authentic and real, but it was just gonna show you a snapshot of these kids on a road trip, getting into misadventures and stumbling into parties, and their car breaking down and hitchhiking and going on train rides, and like, but just like connecting with strangers and just lucky accidents, and like you're just like, oh, this is nice. And it brought back memories that I had when I was that age, and maybe a little more adventurous before life had smacked me in the face with things going wrong. Yeah, it was a good movie. It was cute. I recommend it.
What was that
Very
one
cute.
called? Gasoline what?
Gasoline Rainbow. Yeah.
Rainbow.
Oh, and then I got one more. My probably my favorite thing that I can recommend, and this is it had a great Rotten Tomatoes rating. It was like right in the, like, I can't remember, maybe like the high 50s, low 60s, but it was very divisive. Some people were really liking it and some people were hating it, and I'm like, oh, this has the potential to be good. When it's not just like all negative or mediocre, when people have strong opinions, I'm like, oh, I think I might like this. This is Club Zero, the Jessica Hausner movie. I think I messaged you while I was watching it, Isla, late at night.
Okay.
It stars this actress, and I can't pronounce her name. She's from Crimson Peak. Her name is Mia something.
Oh yeah.
Love Crimson Peak.
Yeah. She runs this club in kind of a private boarding school where you're trying to ethically reduce the amount of eating you do. You like eat less food, and so you ultimately eat nothing. And so you're just eating
I've heard of
no
this,
food
yeah.
at all. And it's such a bizarre, surreal movie. It was like I compared it to Haneke meets John Waters.
Oh, wow.
It was very just in your face and acerbic and difficult to watch at times in the ways I wanted it to be. So someone's gonna hear that and be very excited to watch this movie. Club Zero. Just check out the trailer and see if it looks like your kind of thing. And it is 4 times as hardcore as they show in the trailer. So yeah, just get ready for that.
Good list, man. Good variety.
But yeah. What about you guys? What have you been watching?
I'll go. I usually go last. Yeah, I finally saw Tar,
Hell yeah.
which
Yes.
should have said last because I should have gone last and said this last because it does fit in with our masterpiece flops thing because it did not make its money back, and I thought it was very good.
I love that director so much.
Yeah.
3 movies.
Yeah, bonkers.
3 movies.
Bonkers. Tar, layers upon layers of like meaning and thoughtfulness and like incredible bonkers movie and like a very deft hand at like using 2 weird creepy things to heighten the entire movie. Incredible. And also just like the ending. Now I understand what you were talking about. I was like,
I have thoughts about the ending, but I don't, I don't want to give it away.
I don't want us
but-
to say what it is, but just like we were
so
talking
wild.
about stuff at Easy Allies, and then he was like, "Have you seen Tar?" And I was like, "What the hell possibly made you think of that right now?" Now I know.
I know. Yeah. I want to
funny.
spoiler mode that sometimes because I have feelings about that I'm just like, I want to unpack.
Right when Isla finished, I was like, how did it happen? Like, who called who? Who's a fan of what? Like, what the hell?
Fully.
Such a turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just so perfect too. Anyway, yeah. So finally saw Rope for the first time the other day.
The Hitchcock
Loved it.
one?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So gay, like those guys, like so good. And then like James was reading like Letterboxd reviews, and they were all just talking about like how they're a gay couple and like how obvious it is and stuff. Very interesting movie. I also watched You're Next, which is made by the people who made The Guest, and I love The Guest. I think I like The
You're
Guest
Next, the
more.
horror movie, right?
What?
The horror movie, right?
Yeah, it's like a house invasion movie,
Yeah,
kind of turned on
100%.
its head. Sort
I think
of.
they're making another one randomly.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Your next.
Yeah, that's a good ass movie.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I saw Knife Plus Heart, which is a weird kind of queer as hell, sort of giallo, like horror sort of murder mystery movie, which I really liked it, except it's one of those movies where the protagonist does something pretty reprehensible, and I don't know what the movie wants me to think about it. Because I don't know if the movie knows it was bad to have done that. And
Professional directors will be like, you decide.
no, I know.
Yeah.
And I assume that, they would probably say the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I liked it though.
Sick.
Saw Am I Okay? The new Dakota Johnson figures out she's a lesbian when she's in her 30s movie. It was all right. The answer to the title of the movie is yes.
Oh, you ruined it.
As a movie, I saw the TV Glow. I don't remember if I talked about that last month.
I don't think so.
Uh,
I was curious about this.
okay, loved it. Very, made by a trans filmmaker, so I'm kind of jealous. Whatever, I'm over it. But really good. Visually so interesting, and just like thematically rich and nostalgic and very intense and very spooky and very weird. And it was, without getting specific, it was a very unique experience watching this because I went with two of my guy friends who are also gay. But like, they at the end were like, oh my God, that was so intense and so stressful. And like, my take was just like, oh yeah, no, this is like the feeling I had for most of my life. Like, this is just familiar.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that's such an interest. Like when he was like, that was so intense.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, I did an inventory on myself and I was like,
hardened.
and I was just like, no, this all felt very familiar. Yeah. And like, I didn't find it intense. I just found it like, kind of like, I know this path.
Yeah.
Which isn't exactly a spoiler. The movie is very complicated, but yeah, it was good. I really liked it. Let's see.
Someone I follow on Twitter is like a good movie buff critic, and was like, well, I liked it, but I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, whoa, you're saying that? Because this person like tweets like pretty hardcore like analysis of film, and they were just like, yeah, good, but I don't think I understood it all.
There's
I was like, whoa.
It's such an interesting movie because like it definitely functions on a level where it's like, okay, if you're just, if you're watching it from like straight, white experience, you'll have one take on it based on your experience. And what might resonate more for you is the like nostalgic youth TV show stuff, like that kind of like otherworldly horror elements of that might resonate more with you. If you're queer, different things are going to resonate for you. If you're trans, other things are going to, like, you'll be on the deeper level and like see that what this is about, I think it's very successful in that it functions on all those levels, and it's really interesting and subversive because it doesn't do what you think it's going to do. It doesn't engage the way you think it's going to engage.
Yeah.
The metaphors are very interesting, and I think will hit different based on your demographic. It's a really interesting, cool movie. I need to see her other one, We're All Going to the World's Fair. I haven't watched it yet because it seems depressing, but yeah. I watched Almodovar's Parallel Mothers recently, which if you follow me on Instagram, iHink on Instagram, follow me, you'll know that I fell in love with a jacket that one of the women was wearing in the movie, tried to track it down on the internet, found the only one on the entire internet, as far as I can tell, on Poshmark. It was a Diesel sheepskin leather red ombre jacket. It's an extra large, which I was like, certainly that's too big. But then I went on Diesel's website, and like they're European sizes, so they're all bugaboo. Yeah. And I did the math. I measured myself, and an XL is just a 10. So it's like pretty psychologically fucked up sizing, but whatever. So I ordered it, and I got it, and I have this jacket now.
Sick.
I've already stained the collar with foundation, but whatever. I'll just figure out how to clean it, but it's beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, Parallel Mothers is a sick movie too. It's really good. I love Almodovar. Last one I watched, Water Lilies, which is the Siama movie. The person who made Portrait of a Lady on Fire. They were doing a little. They had like
a new movie out. Fuck.
No, this is an older one.
Okay,
this was her first, I think.
I haven't seen this
then
one. Yeah, I mean, I love her as a filmmaker. Yeah.
It's one of the women from the blonde from Portrait of a Lady on Fire is in it, and she's like a teen. So it's kind of a weird movie because it's like it's these like coming of age kind of sexual awakening of these teenagers, and they all are in like swim competitions together. Yeah, it's an interesting movie, kind of just slice of life sort of thing. Yeah, and then I've been watching for the first time Fargo season 3 because I never actually watched that one all the way through.
Three. Who's in 3?
Ewan McGregor.
Oh, 3.
Yeah.
3. 3's cool.
Yeah,
3's good.
Because I've seen 1 and 2 and 5, and
They're
I
all
love
good.
those.
Yeah, they're all good.
And 4, I kind of watched most of it,
Yeah.
and I bounced off a little bit.
Oh, 4 struggles, but it reaches so high. I respect it.
Yeah.
You know,
I-
it tries to
yeah.
be such an epic.
There was so much going on. I felt it a
Yeah.
little like.
It's
'cause
unwieldy.
What I love about Fargo is that you get in with the like characters, and you're like, okay, you are just a weird person.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then
5 was the newest.
yeah,
5
and
is so
5 is incredible.
Yeah, 5's so good.
Like 1, 2, and 5 are
Yeah.
god tier.
God
Fargo.
tier. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I watched the first 2 episodes of season 1 of Hot D when it came out 100 years ago, and then House of the Dragon, and then my wife Sophia has been watching it, and I was kind of out, but like I watched it because she was watching it. Episode 1, I was like whatever, and episode 2, I was kind of sucked in, so now I'm kind of in it. We'll see. I got burned so hard by Game of Thrones, dude.
Wait, so is it watchable? Like if I just wanted to
incredible.
like scratch an itch for that kind of thing?
It's fucking it's
yeah.
incredible. Don't listen to Isla.
Everybody
it's
else
actually
loves
a
it.
10.
Everyone else
is the
loves it.
best.
Is it-
Every episode, Matthew, is a visual and mental feast.
There
There
we
is
go.
just so much to think about. There's so many character dynamics. It is so fucking good. There's like layers upon layers upon layers of like people's intent, people's like emotional connections, people's irrational thinking, duty, honor, like just it's fucking everything.
That
It's the
sounds
best.
amazing. Can I
Oh,
ask?
it's
Can I
so
ask an
good.
embarrassing question? Is there nudity?
There's a
There's
little
some.
bit.
Okay, I'll watch it.
It's not gratuitous. At
Wait,
all.
did you want there to be nudity?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's some nudity.
Okay.
There's some nudity.
That
there's
plus
nudity.
all of the
Yeah.
things that you enumerated, Huber, I will
it's
make
the
me watch
best.
it.
You should play Indica.
Nudity. in
Play the
Indica.
video game Indica.
Oh,
There's some
shit.
nudity in Indica.
Oh shit.
Yeah. All right, you go.
Sick. Briefly, basically 2 movies. Furiosa, obviously, but the other 2. One of them was one of the best horror movies I've seen of the year. One of the highest reviewed as well. This French film called Infested.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Spider creature feature.
Spiders.
It's on AMC Plus.
Quit moving your mic. That probably sounds crazy.
Sorry, it's super good. Basically, people are trapped in a like low income apartment building with spiders.
Oh, so it's kind of like Attack the Block vibes.
A little
maybe?
bit of Attack the Block
Okay.
vibes, and
Love Attack the Block.
The movie just has really cool spiders, good practical effects,
Dude.
solid characters, and then there's like some pretty good commentary in there as well.
Oh.
Just because of like where it takes place, obviously.
Yeah.
Like so, really recommend that one. AMC Plus.
It's French, you said?
Yeah.
I'm about to get AMC Plus so I can finally watch season 2 of Interview with the Vampire.
Interview with the Vampire was so good. I haven't seen season 2.
Shut up, I haven't seen
No,
it.
I haven't seen season
okay,
2,
yeah, I
but
haven't
season
seen
1
season 2 yet.
was
Season 1
incredible.
is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yes. And then the other movie I watched was one of the best movies I've seen. I'm going to parasite everybody. I don't give a fuck because this movie came out in 2018. Shoplifters.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I've heard about that.
Shoplifters is
I-
great.
I
Yeah,
figured
so
Matthew
good.
had seen
I
this.
love
Right
that.
in Matthew's
Who directed,
wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Who directed this?
What's that? Yeah, it's Koreeda,
It's a very
I think.
famous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to watch every single one of his movies because this movie was like 100 billion%. You ask me the type of movie I like, this is the blueprint.
Oh,
A
yeah,
like
yeah.
2.5 hour hardcore drama just about characters, not a lot of music, statically shot, just living in these moments.
There you go.
Just-
Statically shot, Huber. Statically
Oh, my
shot is like music
God.
to my ears. Just
Yes,
right in my heart.
dude.
Yeah.
Just like, because it's about shoplifters, so just like camera in the back of a market, just like watching people, just, this movie's fucking incredible.
Is it Japanese?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is, I swear, when I finished this thing, I was like, that is legitimately one of the best movies I have watched in the last decade.
Wow.
I was that hyped. I like a Kubrick moment where I was just like, I had to like just take a minute to just like understand how good of a movie I just watched. It was so good. It was so good. I loved it.
It kind of
got me
reminds
so
me,
hyped.
it reminds me of like Ozu's Good Morning or Kurosawa's Ikiru. Like really, really,
Ikiru,
really
for sure,
heartfelt.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really heartfelt. So those are the movies I watched, and then just really bullet points of the shows. Interview the Vampire. Season 2. There's only the finale's next week.
Oh, cool. Okay.
This week, actually.
I didn't know if it was done or not yet.
Yeah, finale's this week.
Okay.
Incredible. House of the Dragon, there's been 2 episodes. Incredible.
Also, real quick about Hot D for this season.
Hot D.
They finally, HBO,
Hot D.
an HBO production finally took the fucking note and properly lit their goddamn television shows.
Definitely.
Like, season 2, actually you can see what's
can see
happening.
shit in the
and it's
darkness.
very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, there's a moon. Like, people understand the cinematic language that you can see shit even though in real life it would be dark.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on now.
Fucking Game of Thrones.
And then
Anyways.
The Boys season 4 it came out with 3 episodes in the first week, and they were okay. I was like, ooh, is The Boys kind of lost a beat here? Like, we're a long way from season 1. Season 1, when that show came out, I felt like it was just so outlandish and like unique and just like, whoa, this is a zany, crazy ass show. Holy shit, The Boys. It's kind of faltered a little bit.
It's the Cards Against Humanity of TV shows.
No,
mean by that?
that's not a good review.
Shock value.
There's so
substance.
much. It's so much more than.
I
shock.
don't like The Boys.
I know. No, I feel like you judge The Boys like people judge GTA, where they think it's one thing, but like, no, there's some really deep ass shit underneath all that for sure.
I know you think I'm
For
doing that. I watched
sure.
season 1 and 2 and Generation V. Gen V.
I can't believe you didn't like Gen V that much.
I liked
too.
it. I liked it until the end.
Damn it.
I liked it until the end.
Dude, that main character died in like a motorcycle crash. It was so
shit,
sad.
that sucks.
Yeah, one of the main characters of that show. He was like 23 years old.
I'm sensitive to injustice, and The Boys,
Yeah.
like, they love shocking you with injustice, and to me it's like, I get enough of that in reality. I don't need this in my,
I respect it.
So it's like
hard.
I respect that The Boys is there. I'm just like, it's just not my cup of tea.
You're right.
So it's not bad. It's just not my thing.
There was the newest episode though brought me back. I was like, okay, we're like slow burning here. We're still getting the payoffs. We're still having the good stuff. And then lastly, The Acolyte.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to talk about The Acolyte with you both, but I don't think either of you have seen it yet.
I watched.
It's the most controversial show
Stop
of
moving your mic around.
all time.
We
Jesus.
we dipped into, because Sophia's been watching it while she's at work.
Yeah.
And she was like, I have to show you parts of episode 3.
Oh my God.
And so she showed me parts of episode
Power
3.
One.
Oh my God.
Power of
Power.
two.
Like, oh my God. And like, you have to really botch it if you're doing a lesbian witch coven, and I don't like it.
That is the like.
Like,
that
you have
just
to
proves-
really fuck it up.
That just proves that this show is absolute bad.
It's
It is
weird
bad.
because
it is a bad show.
it
The first episode was
looks-
pretty good.
It looks cheap. It looks like
Yeah.
a CW show.
Yeah.
It feels like it feels hamstrung by something, and I don't know if it's their own, like, doing it to themselves, or if it's like Filoni or Disney or somebody just like won't let them do, because like
Filoni not involved in this.
no, I know, but like historically, the powers that be will not let Star Wars be challenging or interesting. Like they tried it with Last Jedi, and then they retconned
Nuked it to
literally
orbit.
everything
Yeah.
and ruined all of the sequel trilogy, even though none of them are that good. But like, it keeps flirting with like, hey, the Jedi are actually fascists, and this is like a religious cult, and they're not good actually. And it like flirts with saying that, but
Yeah.
then doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, will it? Like, did the
knows?
Jedi kill all of her like
It's just-
family or not?
It's
like,
just really clunky.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe The Acolyte, is like the writing and acting and everything is just really clunky.
it's real weird.
It's like,
It's real weird.
and the budgets for these shows, like, what the fuck are you doing, Disney? The fuck are you doing with $200 million on
This
this
cost
show?
$200 million.
$180 million.
For
What's
this
with
one
these
show.
shows?
She-Hulk was like $250 million, and it's like these shows like kind of look like ass.
They look kind of cheap. It's weird, like, it's weird with like Acolyte, because I didn't know it had that. I actually assumed it had a pretty low budget
Yeah.
because it's like pretty cheap looking.
yeah.
And like, it's really weird that these companies are dumping all this money into TV shows like Rings of Power, which I actually kind of, I liked it.
Yeah.
But it didn't look expensive.
Yeah.
Like it didn't particularly look like richly shot.
Totally.
It just looked very TV to me.
Totally.
And like, I'm like, okay, so clearly we're not investing this money
Mm-hmm.
in lenses and cinematography. We're
Yeah.
we're investing it in sets and costumes and CG.
Yeah. And
Which is all good too.
And I would love both your opinions too about this. Actually, as we take an extra minute, I do want to talk about this because it is so controversial, this show, and just such a big storyline. I think this year in media is the audience backlash on The Acolyte.
I mean,
Which-
you can predict 90% of it just
But-
because it's women of color and
But
show ran
but
by
what
a
about
gay
House
woman.
of the Dragon having a 90-something audience score? That is a female-driven show.
Are the showrunners women?
I think one of them is, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, there are people will bring up like, other female-led shows that are widely beloved.
I think like fandoms are
Yeah.
the answer. Like
So just like Star Wars
Star
maniacs.
Wars and gaming
Yeah.
and like stuff where it's like it's generally become a pretty toxic environment.
This
Yeah.
is
Well,
our
because I bring it up too,
space,
because-
right, is
Right,
the kind of
right.
thing like
Yeah.
do
Like, they
that
feel
somewhere
like-
else, right? Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Even
the
guys-
thing. Yeah.
Like a guy friend of mine from like growing up, who's like a good dude, and he later like rethought this position, but like even he in Last Jedi or one of those said that he felt like Star Wars was like not for him anymore because it had like moved into a different territory that he couldn't like just relate with wholesale, right? And like, he's a thoughtful guy, so he didn't go all vitriolic on it.
Yeah.
And like when we were talking about it, and he kind of like reconsidered his position or whatever. But like, I think that a lot of people do feel that way, that like any kind of inclusion is an active exclusion,
Yeah.
which is not true.
That's why I wanted to bring it up, though, because the showrunners of this show now specifically have been combative.
They've been
and antagonistic.
they have been inelegant and
Yeah.
not very smart. Like
so
I
so
think
I'm just,
it's getting to the point, honestly, where like we were talking about this the other day, where it's like if it's a Star Wars property or a MCU property or any kind of like game, especially if it's like a Life is Strange or like
Yeah.
deals with queer people or people of color, like do not do a press junket. Don't put human beings with names and addresses in front of the internet to talk about this thing, because it's not safe for them as a person.
yeah.
Like it's unfair to them, and it's like shitty that we've gotten to this place because people just don't behave.
Don't put
but
them
like,
in front of the mob. Yeah.
don't put them in front of the mob. Like
Yeah.
make
and the Star Wars mob is the mob
well, and also just
of
like
mobs.
also like I think that the reason that Acolyte has the lowest audience score in Star Wars
'cause, you know,
history,
I am-
lower than even the fucking
Yeah.
holiday special.
Because I don't mind anything, and it's like, dude,
Right.
this thing is actually just
I mean,
trash.
it's just it's a terrible show, which makes all of it compound even worse.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have a very vocal, like behind the scenes, like that the creators and the people are saying things and are out there and are putting their voices out there, which I don't think someone should be afraid of doing, by the way.
Definitely.
But like, they've made themselves a target, alas, in this current landscape, which fucking sucks. Like, that should not be how it is.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah.
Which is just terrible.
It's so tricky because I feel like the way
show
to
sucks,
have more creators who aren't straight white dudes is for people to be out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
how do you do
Yeah.
that without subjecting them to
Right.
horrendous behavior like this? And somehow it's like better policing on
I honestly-
on the side of like fandom and like making fandom grow up, and that's such a bigger project. You know what I mean? You don't want to like hide creators from public view because they need to be visible so they can continue to get more jobs. So it's tough. It's tough to crack.
Yeah.
You know?
And I was having this realization. We were talking about Twitter earlier today, and I was just like having this like moment of crisis where I was just like, are we fucked? Like, is everything fucked? Because the rich, like, psycho bastard Elon Musks of the world are going to just buy everything and
Rich
run
get richer
everything. And like,
fucked up stay.
so like, and like Twitter has become a cesspool because it's just like, it is owned and policed by the wrong people, you know, and like populated almost entirely by anger. And like, it's just like, all right, like, just don't go on there, you know?
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah. And I think that actually brings up a point about this whole Star Wars criticism. Remember, I read that headline a minute ago
yeah.
where it was Elon Musk was like calling out the Acolyte for being woke Disney shit. And it's like, okay, you're coming at this from your fucking like bigoted criticism angle. Like, maybe just analyze the show.
Yeah.
Like, for being the show.
Woke is such an irritating.
It's
such an
just,
annoying buzz term. Like, it's such a nothing.
Oh my god, it drives me fucking insane.
Like,
Jesus.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like, just analyze the show.
It's not a
Damn.
good show.
That's a tall order for him here.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, he's just a fucking
Yeah.
loser.
So,
Anyway,
super crazy though. Super crazy. Acolyte drama.
leave it to Star Wars to make us just go hard political 35 minutes into the
Yep.
podcast.
Yep.
Anyways, all right. Are we ready to get into our... We'll just skip news because
do it.
none of us prepared it. Unless you had any.
Deadpool and Wolverine was going to be shelved, but Hugh Jackman called Ryan Reynolds.
Love that.
Yep.
I love that.
Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds were both like, nah, we can't crack this. Like, no. And then, like, Hugh Jackman was like, we're doing this.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So
Hugh Jackman was actually on a beach on vacation. He was on
he
a
was
beach.
just like,
yeah.
hello. Let's
Yeah.
do that, governor.
So sick.
That's what he sounds like.
That is my most anticipated movie of a very long time.
I hope it'll be good, dude.
counting
I don't
down.
know.
Counting down the days to it. Oh, it's in good hands.
I hope it'll be good.
Yeah.
All right. I asked our patrons on patreon.com/reactionshots. Please join if you want. Tell your friends. It's a cute community. $3. That's it.
$3
You
chuck.
get the Discord. You get to be in on the conversations. It's the meat and potatoes of the episodes. We ask a few little questions, and then we just kind of say what you all think, and then we talk about it.
It's
That's
fun
the
in
show.
there. It's fun in that Discord. Get in there.
Yeah. Oh, the Discord is amazing. Yeah. Anyway, so because we are shooting from the hip and just doing this episode with little notice because I realized too late that if we waited for Huber to get back to Vegas, it would be July before this episode came out. And I'm going to be working the BET Awards. You know, it's the whole thing. But anyways, so we're just going to read down through the patron comments,
Do
and
it.
that's what it is.
Hell yeah.
I asked our patrons 3 little questions. What's the best? Oh, I wrote, what's the best office flop? which is an insane sentence and not what I meant to write. What is the best box office flop is what I meant to say. And then I just asked, is cinema dying? Because everyone was saying cinema was dying because no one was seeing Furiosa. And then I just said, anything else?
Movies are on streaming way too fucking fast. And that is why theaters are dying. That, to me, is one of the main reasons.
Didn't they hold Inside Out 2 a little longer, and it's saving cinemas as we speak?
It is. You are correct.
When COVID was,
they are going to hold it.
when COVID was very hardcore, I know it's still around. I used to get pissed off when like people and directors would come out and be like, "You can only see this in theaters," because I have a pretty serious disability, and it's rough for people with disabilities to like. And normal people to go out and subject themselves to COVID. But now I think, and super sympathies and solidarity to other people with disabilities who have a hard time going out into the world with COVID still out there. But I do think that things are reviving now. Things are reviving now. And it's cool to like support theaters so that they don't completely disappear off the face of the earth. And I think there's a balance that we can start striking.
I agree.
And
the balance.
Keep things safe for people still. You know, there's upgrades that could be made to theaters also, but like support our theaters. It's a good there are ways to do it. Yeah.
That is news we should probably briefly mention that Alamo Drafthouse, my favorite theater chain, has been bought by Sony, by a new Sony imprint called, I think, Sony live entertainment or like experiential entertainment division or something. It's like their weird new like distribution arm.
Oh yeah,
which I was like, does the Paramount decree mean nothing? Like, what the fuck is happening here? But I hope they just leave it alone. I don't know. Like, don't mess with my baby.
Yeah,
it's the only place I can go where you can kick people out for talking. All right. So yeah, I asked, what's the best box office flop, and I asked, is cinema dying?
It's Blade Runner. 100%.
Or The Thing.
I mean, that's so long ago.
It all counts, baby. The Thing didn't perform. The Thing was a huge flop.
The reason
when it came
I'll
out.
give it to Blade Runner, though,
1 or 2049.
2049, is because
they both flopped.
Is because everyone,
I'm pretty sure.
like, everyone's tapped in. Everyone is fucking tapped into what is good, what is hot, what is okay. Oh, Furiosa is coming out. I'm gonna go see. Social media, all this shit. You have the knowledge. You have the tools. There are no big blockbuster sleeper hits because you're getting ads, you're getting billboards, you're just like inundated with information.
Yeah.
It's on you if you missed it.
It is. Like Denis Villeneuve, you got one of the greatest directors of all time coming off multiple hits. You got Ryan freaking Gosling, one of the most bankable actors. Where were you? Where the hell was everybody?
Yeah.
I'm going to hold a grudge till the day I die on this fucking one, dude. It pisses me off.
Well, it didn't destroy his career. So,
no.
I think, I think things were okay afterwards. The movie probably deserved better, because it's a great movie. It's a wonderful movie. But luckily, he was able to go on and even make more science fiction movies after this.
Hell yeah.
Great
You're
ones.
You're right. Silver lining. You're right. All right. Talking me down off the ledge. Okay. All right.
I mean, it's funny, like, looking through, because I have this variety, like, and they have, like, 38 movies that would qualify for this list, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because some of them are, like, masterpieces, you know, like, truly great movies, like Blade Runner 2049 or The Iron Giant or Tar, you know. And then some of them I'm kind of just like, I get it. Like, no one felt the interest in going to see this. You know?
Because Blade
like,
Runner's a
Destroyer.
Blade Runner's a big blockbuster. Oh, Destroyer with Nicole Kidman?
Yeah.
That was a sick movie.
Or the rhythm set. Like,
but that's like
some
so
of
niche,
these.
so indie.
No, I know, but or like
Destroyer
Ali,
was
like
sick, yeah.
Yeah, Destroyer's sick.
some of these, like the Many Saints of Newark. What's that?
Sopranos prequel.
Is it okay? Like who?
But it was
needs
also
that?
on HBO Max, so that's really weird. It came out like a day later, like a week later.
That's really
strange. Yeah,
Like the
that's
remake of West Side Story, or like
weird. Okay, Spielberg, West Side Story, big, huge property.
yeah,
Somebody
it's
had to
just
fill
like
out their list.
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, some of these are like, well, yeah, obviously this isn't going to do well.
Can I change my number one?
Yeah, what's that?
Speed Racer.
Speed Racer, yeah. I'm part of the problem.
Unsung
I never
masterpiece.
saw Speed Racer.
I didn't either.
Unsung
I think I saw it on
masterpiece.
video, maybe.
Truly, that movie was like the classic victim of who the hell knows what. Weird, critical something. I don't know.
Timing.
But
Sometimes
I swear,
it's
people,
just timing.
Timing.
It's just
People
timing.
swear by Speed Racer, and me too. That was one of the most fun movie going experiences. I will never forget that.
Yeah.
When I saw that movie in the IMAX, it's like, wow, Speed Racer.
I got a painful
Tyler-
one, Isla.
Okay. Yeah.
$27 million budget, $5 million made back. Crimes of the Future.
Oh, dude. But I mean, like, who didn't see it coming?
That's
you
true.
know? Like,
Exactly.
I saw it. I went
Oh
and
yeah,
saw it
I saw it in the
theaters.
theater. Yeah, I saw it in the theater.
And I liked
I rushed
it,
out on a
and we're
weeknight. I saw it on
tried
a
to.
school night.
Oh,
forget
yeah,
what happened.
I
Yeah.
saw it, like, as soon as I could. Also, like,
Cronenberg, baby.
it's kind of funny, too, because, like, some of these that I have seen and then they don't do super well, I'm like, yeah, no, I get it. Because I think part of it, like, part of the reason, you know, people always say, like, movies don't make as much money as they used to for a bunch of reasons, but one of them is, like, they don't get to stay in theaters quite as long.
Yep.
They're pulled if they don't perform, so that no one has a chance to go see them, word of mouth, like, build up, you know?
Exactly.
Also, like, obviously, DVD rentals and sales and VHS rentals and sales historically were, like, where movies made huge parts of their, you know, budget back. And that doesn't exactly equate in today's world. Like, you do see, like, kind of the model now with, like, rentals and prices and stuff. It does kind of, it's starting to maybe work a little, but, like, it's not nearly the same as it was, you know. But some of them, you know, like Crimes of the Future, I'm like, I don't think
crazy ass Cronenberg
I don't
movie.
think
That movie was
no, but,
never
like,
the
gonna
public-
make.
no, but like
flock to it.
even for me who loves Cronenberg or
Yeah.
whatever, it's not my favorite of his.
Yeah.
And like my word of mouth probably would have been like, you can watch it at home.
Yeah.
Like,
Did they have to refund some of those
it's good,
tickets
but-
for walkouts?
did
No,
they?
I don't know, because people walked out of mine. Yeah.
It was a bleak and dark day.
If
when
you don't know what you're getting into going into Crimes of the
Exactly.
Future, what the hell are you
Cronenberg,
doing in there?
It was a bleak and sad day when I first said that. With like, you can probably just watch that one at home.
Yeah.
Just that phrase, you know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh no.
It's the opposite of an angel getting its wings.
Yeah.
You killed heaven when you said that. The lights went out. Tyler Travis says The Iron Giant. It's in my top 10 of all time, and nobody saw it in the theater, including them. Cinema will never die. It may become a cyborg and get absorbed by nature and return to the earth in an unrecognizable form, but it'll never die. Yeah, so Iron Giant, it's actually in this article, so I have the stats here. It was a $70 million budget, and it only made $23
Oh,
million.
yeah.
Damn.
Which is like a bummer because it's truly an incredible
Isn't
movie.
it based on like a poem? Like it's like based on a poem by like Sylvia Plath's husband or something like that. I think. Maybe I'm just imagining things. I could be because I do that a lot. I forget things, and maybe it just reminds
Iron
me
Gi-
of something. Isn't it like
Apparently is based on the book The Iron Man by poet Ted Hughes.
Ted Hughes? Yeah, Sylvia Plath's husband. Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. He wrote it. He wrote the novel for his children to comfort them in the wake of their mother Sylvia Plath's suicide.
Some hard
Holy
shit.
crap.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hell
it is a
heavy.
depressing
Yeah.
but wonderful
Yeah, it
movie.
is.
The Iron Giant is also the best part of Ready Player One. 10 out of 10.
I mean, low bar, but
When the Iron Giant comes, it's so sick. It makes the whole movie worth it, dude.
God, the movie fucking sucks.
It's some cool parts. And the Shining part makes me
Yeah,
emotional
yeah.
every time
Shining part?
because
Except you refuse to watch Doctor Sleep.
because Steven
Which-
Another
Spielberg and
masterpiece
Stanley
flop?
Kubrick were best friends, and he is allowed to embrace Stanley's legacy.
Mike Flanagan directed Doctor
Hubert.
Sleep.
I know, but they weren't on.
Hubert
They
made
weren't
it flop.
friends.
Hubert made Dr. Sleep flop.
Hubert killed Doctor Sleep.
Damn it.
Doctor Sleep tanked with just 31 million.
Your one ticket would have pushed it over the edge. Hubert.
Well, you would have saved it. You would have saved my dude. Doctor Sleep is good. Like I know you have this thing about you can't ruin The Shining, but
people not only say it's good, but she's always on like top 10 lists now of best villains.
Oh, Rebecca Ferguson.
She's always on lists.
And it has
one of my
guy from
Celebrity Idols.
Oh, go ahead.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
End of thought. Rebecca Ferguson is hot. End of thought.
The guy from Fargo season 2.
Ewan McGregor?
Who
Jesse Plemons?
The American Indian guy, the indigenous actor.
John Hawkes?
No. He's also in
Reservation Dogs. Yeah. He's in Dr. Sleep.
Yeah,
He's really cool in that. Yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah, he rules.
I don't remember who we're talking about, but I love Fargo season 2.
Hansi in Fargo. Ends up becoming the old crime boss in the future with plastic surgery. It's a very weird connection.
Huh.
Yeah. Very bizarre.
JG
Wentworth.
says, 877 cash now, says, I think one of the best examples is The Night of the Hunter by Charles Lawton.
I was going to bring this up.
With what's his name?
Oh, the love-hate guy?
Yeah. What's his name?
Well, now that you can't think of it, I can't think of it.
Like, they just drop out of my...
Robert Mitchum.
Yeah,
Robert Mitchum. I was like, Robert Mitchum came into my head, and then it was instantly replaced with Robert Forster, and I was like, well, that's not it.
That movie's
Night of the Hunter is one of
I've
the
still
best
never seen
ever made. Yeah.
I own it on Blu-ray, and I still haven't watched it.
Isla, you should see it for underwater car shots. That's all I'll say. You should. You should watch it for underwater.
Terrifying
car shots.
and interesting.
Oh, that movie's so good.
A cryptic hint at one of our screenplays that Matt and I are writing. Anyway, it was Lawton's directorial debut, and it was a big failure with both audiences and critics at the initial release. Lawton took the failure of his first film
Only
personally
movie.
and vowed never to direct a film again, and he never did. He died thinking his film was a failure. Over time, The Night of the Hunter has been reassessed and is now a classic. Its popularity grew as a new generation was exposed to the film and when it played on television. Nowadays, it'll always show up in the greatest films of all time poll and is considered a massive inspiration to some of the biggest filmmakers. As for Furiosa, it was reported recently that the global box office was $144 million with a budget of $168 million. In my mind, if the film were to play in theaters all summer, it would certainly turn a profit. Why start pulling it out of theaters now? Give people time to see it. Yeah.
I don't understand it. And it brings me back to my thought of like, people know that they can just wait a little bit and watch it at home. That gap needs to be longer. If that gap is longer, it would encourage people to go to the theaters. It would make the theater experience more special. You're going to see this movie and like people aren't going to be talking about it for 6 months or whatever. It's like you're coming in to go to the theater to see this movie. It's almost like you're seeing it early in a way, like early access. You go see it in the theater 6 months before it's out or something.
Your chair doesn't vibrate at home like it does at the theater. They need to advertise that.
Yeah. Some of these are just so shocking because I try to put my mind in the mind of the masses. And to me, the mind of the masses know and love Mad Max Fury Road. There was plenty of hype. There was plenty of marketing for Furiosa. And, maybe Fury Road didn't make like $1 billion, but its legacy since then also made me think that more people would go to see Furiosa.
Yeah.
And they just didn't? I don't.
Well, and then you get into questions of like, is it because Anya Taylor-Joy was the lead?
I mean, Charlize Theron
is
like one of the mains.
Right. Yeah, like who knows? Paul Rogers has some interesting thoughts here. Masterpieces that flop tend to fall into 3 broad categories. 1, masterpieces that fail at the cinema, but through word of mouth, TV, DVDs, etc., find an audience and become cultural landmarks, and their box office failure is forgotten in time. Examples include It's a Wonderful Life, Shawshank Redemption, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. 2, masterpieces that have a cult following and are regarded as classics within the genre, but perhaps aren't so universally beloved. Examples are The Thing, Blade Runner, and Blade Runner 2049, and Fight Club, which did not do well in the theaters. Masterpieces that remain obscure but are championed by critics and a devoted fan base, such as Leave No Trace, Speed Racer, Dread, Donnie Darko, William Friedkin, Sorcerer, dude, what a pull, and Big Trouble in Little China. Dude, fucking watch Dread. It's so
Fucking
good.
motherfuckers. Anyone who didn't see that, anyone who didn't see Dread in the theater, seriously, like, just. I don't even know. I'm upset. I'm disappointed in you. I'm not even mad. I'm disappointed.
I had to twist my wife's arm to get her to watch that, and then she loved it, but like she was just like, I don't know, like Dread,
it made
like that seems
$41
dumb,
million.
And I was like, no, it's really good. It's really
That's
good.
my number one, by the way.
Dread.
Oh well, the budget was 30 to 45, and it made 41. So
I mean, the general wisdom of movies is you take the budget and double it, or at least half the budget for marketing, but it's never obviously the same, and you never really know. So like, but a movie, you could safely say a movie is doing well if it's made double its film budget. But like, yeah.
That's why I resent Netflix sometimes, because you got like the masterpiece known as Dread making like 30-40 million, but then like anytime you go on the Netflix and see what the top 10 movies are, the number one is like the biggest piece of trash.
Yeah, Red Notice or
you've
some
ever,
bullshit.
yeah, fucking hell.
Which like they control. It's they control that list. So it's like, is that even true? Like, are people watching Red Notice?
It'd be a pretty big scam if that ever came to light. Like that.
They
Seems
don't
like
report their numbers.
it seems like more of a
They
risk
only report
for
their
no
numbers when they
reward.
want to do it.
Yeah. It's got to be a whistleblower though. Someone would be like, "Yeah, this ain't."
I don't know. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
They also said, I'm shortening some stuff here, but they said they weren't able to comment last month, so they wanted to comment on the question of sequels that have ruined everything. They say, I don't think it's possible for a sequel, no matter how bad, to damage another movie, but I will add one exception to this, and that is Paddington 2. Paddington 2 is deservedly considered a masterpiece. Some might say the apex of cinema, but this has had a very negative impact on the first Paddington movie, which is an absolutely delightful film, truly one of the most charming movies I've ever seen. You should definitely watch Paddington, Isla. It's delightful in its own right and will add greater depths to Paddington 2. Because famously, I think Paddington 2 and No Country for Old Men are perfect films, but I've never seen Paddington 1.
Paddington Goes to Paris coming up.
Yeah, dude.
Coming right up.
Colt Smith says Iron Giant is my pick too, one of the greatest of all time, and just nobody saw it. I'd also be remiss not to mention Dragon Slayer, which is a gem and bombs so hard, and I love it dearly. I haven't seen that. I'm just going to skip the cinema dying thing, because whatever. It is and it isn't.
It will live.
It'll be fine.
There's definitely I've noticed more than ever in the time of movie theaters are re-releases.
Yeah.
It's like out of control. It's like it's nuts. Every week there's something.
Yeah.
Every week there's some old movie.
I mean, that's why I really like places like Alamo Drafthouse and stuff, because they'll do programming where it's like, hey, we're doing 1989, so come see Batman in the theater.
Yeah.
Just for funsies. Or like recently they were showing like Last Crusade, and it's just like, hell yeah. Like, we went and saw The Thing in theaters, and we never knew that Blair had a nose piercing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that adds a lot to his character, and I've never noticed that before.
Yeah.
Duff says, for me, it's Speed Racer. It's a heartfelt story about the pains of pursuing an art that's controlled by an industry and has some of the most impactful moments of family I've seen in film.
Incredible movie.
Setting Speed's departure from the family home to mirror Rex's, but focusing on Pops as he makes up for the mistake he made when his first son left is a masterstroke. Shame the lead is an abusive piece of shit, but hindsight is 2020.
Emil Hirsch, is he sketchy? Fuck.
I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know.
Matthew Fox in there too.
Who?
Jack Shepard
Is he bad?
from Lost.
Oh yeah, wasn't he?
He's in there. He's Racer X.
Is he bad?
As a person? No, I don't think so. I'm just saying he's in there.
Huh.
Yeah. Ghost in the Shell 2 from 2004 is playing in the theater by me.
Oh,
Just an example
that's
of
cool.
Which movie?
Ghost in the Shell 2.
I think I only
okay.
saw that
There's
at
re-releases.
home. Yeah, that would be a fun
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nonstop.
Zach Wojnar is here to answer our question.
Hell yeah.
Maybe I'm feeling empathetic since I just got out of a screening for Sing Sing, which is all about empathy and humanizing incarcerated
Yeah.
people.
Sing
but
Sing
I
Prison.
think calling Emil Hirsch an abusive piece of shit is a bit much. He never had a history of bad behavior. He got drunk and did drugs and messed up. He apologized and swapped alcohol for exercise and seems to be living a much happier and more fulfilling life these days.
You. Seriously, one person does one thing and they're automatically like a fucking psycho for their whole life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about this, but like,
I trust
whatever.
Wojnar.
Yeah, I definitely believe that people should be allowed to
repent,
make mistakes, and learn and grow and change. That's how people get better over time.
Yes.
Obviously, if you're like a murderer or like something, then there are exceptions. Maybe like certain things are so bad that it's whatever. But having a bad day is, I don't know, whatever. This feels like dangerous territory.
I don't know this subject.
I don't
this
know.
particular one. I missed the first story.
No, I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know anything about Emil Hirsch. Nintendo has nothing to announce at this time. Garrett Hallfish says flops. People. Oh, this is just never mind. About flops. The question. People already mentioned the Iron Giant, so I'll instead speak to the flops that led to the death of Disney's 2D animation. Oh, baby, yeah. Treasure Planet and Atlantis were two decent Disney movies that flopped hard in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And by the end of 2000s, Disney tried again with The Princess and the Frog and Winnie the Pooh. Both of these flopped as well, and Disney more or less abandoned 2D animation. While none of these are the best of what Disney has to offer, they are solid movies with really nice animation. Yeah, I like Treasure Planet, and Princess and the Frog is really good too.
Yeah.
I thought Atlantis was okay at the time.
Yeah. I
I really liked Titan AE at the time, but
I always get them all confused.
I really wonder if that one holds up. I remember Nathan Lane's like weird like mutant dog alien saying,
Funny.
"I weep for the species." Titan AE, dude, what the fuck?
Hell yeah.
Jason Worsner says, "What's the best box office flop?" Punisher Warzone.
Yeah, that movie's incredible.
Just
Hard-boiled
wall-to-wall,
as shit.
R-rated, over-the-top action. Best version of the Punisher ever put to screen.
I think John Bernthal by far.
I met him one time.
Love the
I've
man.
told you that.
I love the man.
He was so weird, but yeah, he was nice. He was just weird.
He's
He had
the best.
he had to have his dogs with him, and they sat on either side of him on the couch.
Yeah,
Wild stuff.
sick. Because Punisher is more than just vengeance and murder and bloodshed.
Jason Worzar says, under anything else, do a Google image search for the color of pomegranates, and tell me that wouldn't be a solid visual reference for a live-action Legend of Zelda movie. Okay, I guess I'm doing this right now. Oh yeah, because that's a movie.
The color of pomegranates.
This is a weird movie,
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, dude. That shit was sick.
dude. I gotta watch that.
Zelda's gonna be good.
I haven't watched that.
Incredible. I did my part.
Colored pomegranates reminds me of like Holy Mountain or El Topo or something.
El Topo.
These images.
Sick movie.
Yeah, dude. We must travel in a spiral.
Matthew, I want to watch Shoplifters again.
Oh, it's so good. He's got this new one called Monster that came out like last year.
Yes.
To see. Yeah.
I'm so mad I missed that one.
Is it related to the anime monster?
Nah.
This like person's child like kills someone or
Holy
some shit. Yeah,
okay.
it's hardcore.
That's intense. Betos Burrito says, "What's the best box office flop?" King Arthur, the 2017 Guy Ritchie one. I'm probably this movie's only fan. It's a bananas dark fantasy.
Guy Ritchie is one of those directors where I legitimately like every single one of his movies. I haven't seen
Really?
I haven't seen the Madonna one. But even the
did
ones
he do
that
Archie?
people...
I heard that was bad.
Archie?
What's the new one? Where the cat's in the backpack?
I have not seen that at Argyle. That
Argyle.
looked horrible.
I heard it was terrible.
yeah.
Argyle.
I don't know. Did he do that or was that
I don't
Matthew
know.
Vaughn?
And Jessica have said
That might have been Matthew
that
Vaughn.
I think
not
it was
good.
Matthew Vaughn. Because it's, spoiler alert, part of another universe.
Oh, the Kingsman?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Matthew
Matthew
Vaughn.
Vaughn.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
That's Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah, I love Guy Ritchie movies.
I like the Kingsman movies.
Oh, hell yeah.
I didn't like Wanted at all. Betos Burrito also says, James
Wanted?
Cameron, please make a Lita sequel happen.
Please. Wanted is so funny, Isla, because I feel like it just always gets brought up.
Fuck that movie, dude.
I
Fuck
know.
that
It's
movie, dude.
just, it has made its mark on society, though. Anytime, people are always talking about curving bullets.
It's actively insulting to the audience. He like looks at the camera at the end of that movie and says, "What have you done lately?" Like to you, the audience member. And it's like, well, I wasted 2 hours on your stupid shit. Uzi Suicide says Twin Peaks Firewalk with Me made $4.2 million in the box office off a $10 million budget. Talk about a flop, but also talk about a masterpiece. The absolute culmination of the entire series and essential viewing for any denizens of the Black Lodge. It was at a disadvantage because anybody who didn't see the TV show wasn't going to go to the theater.
Of course.
And fans of the show were pissed at how season 2 ended or petered out. But for those of us who have seen it, a life changer, and it's really one of the greatest movies ever made if you have the knowledge of all the events leading to it. Yeah, especially with Twin Peaks The Return now. Like, the whole Twin Peaks package feels very complete.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've always been, and obviously Matthew is a huge Twin Peaks fan. How many Twin Peaks tattoos do you have?
I mean, just one, but, it's a matching one with Jessica. Yeah, we both have the same one.
Oh, okay. That counts as 6. And you got a Twin Peaks pillow right there. Like, yeah.
The last time I watched all of Twin Peaks, I started with Firewalk with Me because
I've been wondering if I want to do that again. Well, because I started with the show with Sophia because she has never seen it, and I was like, well, we can't watch Firewalk with Me first.
Definitely don't watch Firewalk with Me first if you've never seen it. Please don't do that. Save Firewalk with Me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Firewalk with Me is a prequel, it is not a prequel. It is not a prequel. It is a pre-sequel.
Yeah, but because the events happen before the events of the show, it leads almost exactly into the first episode.
Sort of.
So it gave so much context for everything I watched. And I was like, oh, this is great. It plays great. Yeah,
But
it's a fun way to do it if you've never tried it before. Yeah.
But if you've never seen Twin Peaks, watch season 1 and 2, then Firewalk with Me, and then The Return. Or if you're really sensitive to shit getting bad, maybe find a list on the internet of which episodes in season 2 you should actually watch, because season 2 gets a little squirrely, but most of it's good.
It's more than the sum of its parts. Watch it all.
Yeah.
Watch it all. Watch the TV show, then Firewalk with Me, then The Return. Zorgla says, I really enjoyed the animated space adventure Titan AE as a kid, but it lost $100 million and got the studio shut down.
Jeez.
Then Atlantis The Lost Empire flopped the next year and Treasure Planet soon after. I guess the early 2000s were just rough for semi-serious animated sci-fi, but I liked it a lot. I also loved all of those, except for I saw Atlantis once and didn't really click, but I love Titan AE. More recently, I kind of enjoyed Mortal Engines, which is a top 5 flop of all time. The concept and visuals were really imaginative, but the script and characters were just terrible. I agree. I actually kind of liked the ideas and the vibe of that, but the script was awful. Perhaps, and also like the costumes, like they all looked really good. The main lady looked so cool. Perhaps greater involvement from Peter Jackson could have saved it. Who knows? Overall, my pick for the best box office flop is definitely The Thing. It's my favorite sci-fi horror movie ever and an eternal classic. Zach Wojnar says, I like this topic since I get mad whenever someone uses box office numbers as evidence of a movie's quality, good or bad. Yeah, very good point.
That's like me with Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. I'm something... Yeah, you got to know how to use Rotten Tomatoes. Like if a movie has less than an 85, it's a bad movie.
Except for Club Zero.
That's how Rotten Tomatoes run. Except for Club Zero. If I'm something of a box office expert, I've written a bunch of articles about the subject on Screen Rant. We should have you on this show.
Yeah, what the hell?
And a movie. You want to come on the show? And a movie and its marketing are two very different beasts. Remember Solo? Great freaking movie, but nobody was going to accept anyone but Harrison Ford as Han Solo, even though Alden Ehrenreich freaking killed it. Yeah, I actually
An article last week was, we owe him an apology.
Yeah, I didn't hate Solo.
That's
like
good.
if you
I
look
like
at it
Solo.
just as
That's
a like,
good.
if you look at it just as its own little thing, I really quite liked it. It didn't help that the movie's budget ballooned out of control due to nearly the whole thing being reshot by Ron Howard. Yeah, after Lord and Miller got fired. They basically made one movie for the price of two, and even though the movie's global haul of $392 million is low for a Star Wars, it would have been a decent take based on the movie's initial budget of $125 to $150 million. Damn. Also, Speed Racer is one of the greatest movies of all time. Had it come out after Avatar, things might have been different.
So underrated. Holy fuck. Dude.
Also, shout out to Black Hat, which is not a perfect movie, but is absolutely gorgeous. I haven't seen this one, but I've heard of it. It's the forgotten
Michael Mann,
yeah,
dude.
it's the forgotten finale
Extended
of Michael
cut.
Mann's digital video arc that started with Collateral. I mean, Collateral's an all-timer. I wonder how Collateral did.
Dude, Black Hat's sick. What a mood. What a vibe.
Yeah, I heard it was
the
cool.
mood of Michael Mann, dude.
Oh, and Huber, I've got 2 words for you: Punisher, Warzone.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Zach,
I love Punisher Warzone.
Zach also wrote something up for the Is Cinema Dead thing, but because it's 1 a.m. for Matt, I'm trying to go a little quick. So read it on patreon.com/reaction shots if you want to see it. Colin Luton, my favorite box office flop is Blade Runner 2049, but right behind that is the Wachowskis' Speed Racer.
A lot of Speed
What
Racers.
Speed Ray? I wasn't expecting his
Yeah.
love in the chat.
If this
dude.
were
Oh
a
my
telethon,
God.
like the thermometer for Speed Racer would
Oh,
have just
Yeah, for
exploded.
Speed Racer.
Yes. Oh my God, that movie. I'll never forget walking out of that movie. I will never in my life forget it.
Yeah, they were speculating. I can't fathom why audiences weren't interested in 2049. I guess the Blade Runner just has no cachet outside of movie freaks like us.
Yeah.
The trailers famously said the word replicant over and over, but never explained what a replicant was. So maybe normal people didn't know what the movie was about.
Non-replicants didn't get it.
Yeah.
They didn't get it.
Can never predict the
The
normies at
rep
the box
heads.
office.
Yeah, the non-rep heads, replicants. I lost my spot, but also the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem fits the flop theme too. But I already yelled about that one in here.
No, that
Dude.
made some money.
Mutant Mayhem is so good.
It's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Full
Zach-
stop.
Zach Wojnar stepping in again says the budget of Mutant Mayhem was
Yeah.
kept in line, so its final gross of 150 million
Yeah.
was actually a pretty decent success.
That's what I thought.
Not to mention the fact that TMNT has always been a merchandising machine.
Yeah.
Great points.
That game's coming out. Sequel to the movie.
Yeah,
Get
dude.
excited. And another movie or a show in that universe is already set. I believe it's a show coming out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
That universe is it's going. It's going. So you didn't forsake it like you forsook Dread.
Yeah. We blame you.
Blame all of you.
Mega City 1 would be the biggest show on TV if it weren't for you.
Yep.
Mark Hallinan says The King of Comedy. Easily one of Scorsese's most underrated films. King of Comedy was hailed as a flop of the flop of 1982, but I think it is an excellent companion piece to Taxi Driver and contains one of De Niro's greatest performances.
It's
Todd
the
Phillips.
best Martin Scorsese. That and After Hours, those two.
I love After
are-
Hours. Yeah, I haven't seen. King of
Those are my
Comedy,
two
actually.
favorite. He does like understated comedy so well, Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you could have had an alternate career path, not doing like violent
Yeah.
movies, and you could have just done these things
Making
with like a
Departed,
like subtle
super
touch.
funny.
Making
Yeah.
deadpan. Fucking,
Yeah, it's
Man.
great.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Departed is to me one of the funniest movies ever made. That's why I love it so much too.
Mark Hallinan goes on to say Todd Phillips would go on to plagiarize both films to make the slightly overrated
Slightly,
Joker.
only slightly.
Slightly, only slightly.
No.
Was it
Oh,
forget-
that's what I
Maybe
watched.
The legacy endures.
I knew I forgot something. I rewatched that movie with no noise, no bullshit. Saw it one time in the theater with all the fucking noise, all the drama, whatever fucking political think piece you want to go down with Joker. Who gives a fuck? That movie was so amazing and really encapsulates loneliness and hopelessness, which a lot of humans, wherever you fall in line as a human being, feel. Dude, that movie's so good. I just watched it like a month ago. Way better the second time through with no noise. Great movie.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it the second time.
So happy for them.
Yeah. I will back it. I'll defend it.
You could be, there are great movies about isolation and loneliness
Yeah.
that don't also like activate half of its audience to shoot Robert De Niro.
Well,
Oh.
I mean, movies are very violent. Movies are violent, so like calling Joker like, oh, it's
No, I
too
know, I know,
violent
I know,
or
I
something
know,
is a weird take.
Yeah, you're right. That was very 90s of me. Mark Hallinan also says, also Dread, shame on us all.
Shame on you
Shame.
all.
Shame.
Shame.
Willie Diaz says Scott Pilgrim. I remember seeing it opening day because Edgar Wright was is my favorite movie director after catching up on the books and telling so many of my friends to go see it, which most of them did, and it was did not until it was already out of theaters. I love going to Alamo Drafthouse. It's my happy place. And I hope this news of Sony owning them will keep things as close to the same as possible. Yeah, same. I can't stand watching movies at home, and I never get around to it. Yeah. Yeah, it was funny because Scott Pilgrim, when I saw it in theaters, I remember feeling like, I was like, this film gets my specific part of the millennial generation, like exactly right. Like at the time, who knows if it aged well. Matthew De Filippo, maybe. The assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. From Deacon's cinematography to Nick Cave and Warren Ellis' score. Oh, it's a fucking amazing score.
That movie's in my top 5.
To Hugh Ross's narration, you fall into the story's mood right from the start. Where is the movie on 4K Blu-ray?
No. Better question. Where is the 4-hour director's cut?
The legendary cut.
The legendary cut that is probably, it's done. It's gone.
Holy shit.
It's never coming. I want it so bad. I would do anything for a 4-hour cut of that movie. You just sink into it. Oh.
Dude, I didn't realize this did so poorly. On this Variety article, it says that it grossed
I saw it twice in the theater.
$3.9 million in the U.S. and just over $11 million worldwide on a $30 million budget. Dude. Holy shit. That's terrible.
Terrible. And his next one bombed. It took him over a decade to make another movie. He did Blonde, the Marilyn Monroe one.
I've heard such mixed things about Blonde.
I heard it was not. I didn't even watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It didn't appeal to me, but
I will do anything for that 4-hour cut. Find it. Release it. Edit it. Do it. If I could literally have one movie wish, that is near there. Sorry. That's near the top.
I mean, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I just don't want it to sound crazy today. Cotolito says some of my favorite movies of all time were box office bombs, including Dazed and Confused. It's at the very top of my list. Some other honorable mentions, aside from the 3 you already mentioned in the prompt, are Office Space, Dread, Fight Club, Dr. Sleep, and Annihilation. Anime of the month is the 3-part anthology Memories. It came out from 1995.
I saw that.
And got completely overshadowed by things like Ghost in the Shell, Macross, plus the movie, and Neon Genesis Evangelion. It was produced by Katsuhiro Otomo of Akira fame, who also directed the last part, Cannon Fodder. The other 2 parts, Magnetic Rose and Stink Bomb, are directed by Studio 4 Degrees Celsius founder Koji Morimoto and Tensai Akamura, who worked on both Evangelion and Cowboy Bebop. Needless to say, this movie is a visual tour de force of the highest order and well worth tracking down on Blu-ray. Love and respect, and glad Midsommar. Hello, talk.
That re-released an extended cut. See what I mean? Every movie comes back. Midsommar was playing last weekend.
They did a director's cut of it.
All these movies, that's how they're getting paid there. The box office.
Fede Crow. Fed. You explained this before.
I know.
You explained this before, and it's like FedEx without the X, right?
Yeah.
Fede Crow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. FedEx without the X is such a good way
We love you, and we're trying our best.
Seriously. Yeah.
Not a massive flop, but a flop nonetheless. Kingdom of Heaven is one of Ridley Scott's best movies ever made, with a budget of $130 million in 2005. So a massive budget. It only ended up grossing $218 million. So not terrible, but not great. However, the flop is kind of technically because the theatrical version is a watered-down version of the far superior director's cut. So the version that flopped is not the masterpiece that other people praise.
Yes.
Yet, for the history books, Kingdom of Heaven is a flop. Okay, now freak out.
No, yeah, the textbook director's cut.
Yeah.
Textbook. I mean, the director's cut of that movie is... It's night and day, so superior. I love that movie so much. I didn't know that was a big flop. Crazy.
I mean, it did okay.
Yeah.
It probably broke even by those numbers. Yeah. Tokyo Slim, last one. Here we go. Get ready for a girthy list. There are a lot of flops. Out of those flops, these IMO are the most masterpiecey. Blade Runner 2049 and the original, The Thing, Children of Men, Dread, The Last Duel, Spielberg's West Side Story, and The Fablemans.
Damn, I saw almost all of those in theaters.
Lost City of Z, The Man from UNCLE, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Ali, the Will Smith one, Doctor Sleep, Ad Astra has grown on me with rewatches, so I'm provisionally putting it here. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
The Sisters Brothers, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. I'm not a huge Speed Racer fan, but I recognize that it probably deserves the spot on here. And probably everything Paul Thomas Anderson has made in the last 20 years.
Great.
The Master, Inherent Vice, Aronofsky too, Mother,
Yeah.
Noah, The Fountain, Donnie Darko, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Warrior, De Palma's Blowout, Fight Club, Warrior, Sunshine. Yes, it has a weird third act. Still 2/3 brilliant and 1/3 good. Popstar, Never Stop Stopping. Isn't it Never Stop, Never Stopping? Anyway. Crimes of the Future, Shawshank, Iron Giant, Citizen F and Kane. Nightmare Alley wasn't really my bag, but probably also deserves to be on this list.
The original one or the new one? Yeah,
the
the
new
original
one.
one was just kind of like it's incredible. Yeah.
I think modern Nightmare Alley, or like Guillermo's remake, just was a victim of bad trailers. I think it made
Yeah.
people's expectations. It made me expect the wrong thing. Same thing happened with Pan's Labyrinth, where the trailers
Crimson
made
Peak,
it
same shit.
Crimson Peak, same shit.
Yeah.
Like, don't advertise a crazy fantasy movie if it's a war movie. Don't advertise a crazy horror movie if it's a romance. Don't advertise a crazy like weird circus movie if it's a noir mystery. You know, like just who's cutting your trailers? Fire them. Big Trouble in Little China and Brazil. I'm gonna leave it there. I could probably keep going indefinitely.
Did he say Dread?
He did.
He mentioned Blowout, which is John
Dread was like the fourth one.
Travolta's probably their greatest role besides Pulp Fiction, I might say.
Blowout. I've seen parts of Blowout, but I need to see the whole. I need to see it because it looks
It's
great.
really good, yeah.
I love the conversation.
Oh yeah. So
And-
if you love the conversation, there's a good chance you'll like
Yeah.
Blowout. Yeah, there are some similarities.
And I need to see Blow Up. Also, I've seen parts of that, but I haven't seen like I love that genre of like I'm investigating a thing that we have footage for, like that, or like tape, or a picture.
where you like
you know,
Blowout. It's the quintessential.
they're all the same movie, if I
version
understand.
of that. Yeah, and
Okay.
it kind of hit me in the stomach a little bit about living in LA. He's a film editor.
Blowout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a film editor,
Yeah.
and he just goes through some shit, and then
Ugh.
I
gotta see
I
it.
related to
Blowout
it.
tonight.
It's good, a really good De Palma movie. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And that's it. We did it.
Showgirls. Nobody mentioned the masterpiece Showgirls.
Oh my god,
Paul
dude!
Verhoeven
Isn't that
masterpiece
universally
Showgirls.
maligned? Is it
I
Showgirls?
remember it being pretty bad.
Universally
No,
maligned.
I mean it's got this huge like following for its camp qualities, but yeah,
It has your favorite thing,
it does.
nudity.
It is one of my favorite things. Just a few of my favorite things. I don't need to watch the House of the Dragons. I can just
House of
watch
Dragon, you got
Showgirls again.
Showgirls. Listen, I never sneeze at some nudity. Yeah, I've never seen Showgirls all the way through. I've just seen like the clips of it that are like, boy,
The
this
naked
movie
parts.
sucks. No, actually, I haven't for that reason. I've seen it on like Red Letter Media or whatever, where they're talking about it, and they just show like funny.
It's not like a
acting
watch it by
clips.
yourself movie. It's a watch it with a crowd of people who love it, kind of like the Room type experience. I saw it at the Graveyard. I saw it Cinespia
Oh, wow,
during
okay.
like Pride Month, and Elizabeth Berkley was there, and like it was quite
fun.
a showing. Yeah, it was great. So
Awesome.
Totally.
I mean, I love Verhoeven. He's so weird. I was so excited for Bernadetta, and it felt like it was directed by a man. You know, like I'll say that.
Showgirls is directed by the same man.
Yep. stick to RoboCop and Starship Troopers
Did
type
you do
stuff.
Stargate
maybe.
or no?
Stargate.
No, I don't think so.
movie?
I don't think that's Verhoeven. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God.
Who did that?
No, I'm gonna kick myself
I
when
need to
I.
watch Stargate again. I've been thinking.
I love Stargate.
I've had this thought for the last like
it's
5
somebody.
years.
It was done by
Very
let's
vanilla
see.
James Spader in Stargate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kurt Russell. Yeah, James Spader is not a sex freak in this
Yeah.
movie. Although he kind of is. He like leaves his fucking Roland Emmerich.
Roland
yeah.
Emmerich. Okay.
So, you know,
Verhoeven, like semi-Verhoeven
Yeah,
adjacent.
exactly.
Not even he wishes, dude. Come on.
Roland Emmerich randomly is doing the new Strangers movies.
Oh, weird. I heard those were not very good.
I know. It's like a 3-part Strangers, and the first one came out, and it was like people said it's bad, but I haven't seen it yet. But weird for Emmerich.
I liked your next. That is weird for Emmerich.
Yeah, I didn't expect it.
Whatever. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Hubie. Thank you at home. Check out patreon.com/reactionshots. Get in on the conversation. We love having those comments. They're the backbone of this whole enterprise. And if you don't want to comment, you still get access to the Discord for chatting with other film lovers like yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, please tell your friends. Rate us on anything you're listening to this on. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like and a follow and a subscribe and all that. It really helps us out on all the platforms. So please do that. Thank you, everybody. Anything else to add before we say goodbye?
Thanks for the party. I love seeing both of you. It's
yeah.
a wonderful
Same.
experience,
Great
and
to
I
see
love
you.
the listeners and all the comments they write in. What a great time! What a
Matthew, I'll be DMing you about Shoplifters and its director. Maybe you can steer me to another masterpiece.
Afterlife. That's what you got to see by Koreeda. Yeah, Afterlife. Yeah, it's from.
All right. All
Okay,
right. I think
sick.
someone told me that too,
Yeah,
actually.
I don't want to say too much
Okay.
about that one.
Okay.
But see it. Oh, yeah, the same. You want a similar feeling, but with a completely unique concept. Watch Afterlife. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sick. All right.
It's done.
All right. Well, thank you all. We will see you next month. We'll figure out the theme and I'll post it in the Patreon, probably in the middle of the month. All right. Bye.